Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
For this is what the Sovereign Lord says.
Why do you need prophets to tell people who you are and what you want?
If you can justify everything that the God of the Bible has done, then you can justify any of your behavior.
A lot of this mentality is trickling into what is now mainstream right-wing Christianity.
I am capable of empathy greater than this God of the Bible.
This is a Bible that they tell kids. This is the good Lord. This is the good book. He is fantasizing about murder, mass murder.
Head over to sacrilegiousdiscourse.com right now to find out how to leave us a review or support us on Patreon.
Hey there, sinners and saints. It's your favorite Bible-bashing duo from Sacrilegious Discourse, and we need your help.
That's right, folks. We're raising funds for some heavenly equipment and a studio that doesn't sound like it's in the depths of hell.
Our current setup, let's just say it's more apocalypse than audiophile.
So if you want to hear us dissect the Bible without the background noise of demonic squirrels, chip in a few bucks.
We're aiming for $5,000 to upgrade our audio and build a studio worthy of blasphemous banter.
Donate today and help us spread the good word of atheism.
You can find a link right on our homepage, sacrilegiousdiscourse.com. Every dollar counts.
Even if it's from your collection plate. Husband,
Wife!
do you know what the hell we're doing?
Well, it's actually a Saturday. So, sort of, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's Saturday. Mm-hmm. So I guess that means we're doing our
Q&A Saturday, and it's on a Saturday.
we are running a little behind this week, though.
I know.
We did mean to make this not on a Saturday.
Isn't that funny how that worked out?
So we apologize for that. I've had some crazy changing jobs. You know, it's just everything's kind of been up in the air, and we're trying to get back on a regular schedule. So bear with us, guys. And we will be back to our regular, normal selves soon.
As we start a new book.
Yeah, as we start a new book. Yeah, mm-hmm. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. So what are we Qing and Aing today?
We are covering the last couple chapters of, what's his name? Ezekiel.
Yeah, that's the one.
And that would be chapters 46, 47, and 48.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and do this.
Okie dokie. All right, so we're doing the Q&A first.
Okay.
For, again, chapters 46, 47, and 48. Okay. Except that 46 we didn't have any questions for because it was straight up instructions, the end.
Right.
Measurements.
Right. Yeah.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
Okay. And we were like, boring. So in chapter 47... Verse 1 says, "The man brought me back to the entrance to the temple, and I saw water coming out from under the threshold of the temple toward the east, for the temple faced east. The water was coming from under the south side of the temple, south of the altar."
Okay.
So I just had some notes about that, less of a Q&A and more of just like an explanation of shit.
Yeah, just to be clear, this is the bronze, golden, shining white, gleaming dude.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Just want to make sure
that man.
I had the right guy.
Yeah. The man.
Yeah.
You know, who depends on what interpretation you are reading as to what color he is.
Because this is obviously the word of God and can't be fallible in any way whatsoever.
And can't be clear either. Yeah. So reaching the gate of the temple, Ezekiel saw waters spring under the threshold of that gate looking east, right? Mm-hmm. The waters ran west to east, falling into the brook Kidron and on from there to the Dead Sea. Okay. No such waters were ever in the temple. So Solomon had the sea made, which held water for the use of the entire temple. Okay.
Yeah.
Water supplied the sea via pipes, but a fountain producing abundance of water wasn't and couldn't be on top of such a hill. So consequently, these waters are to be understood as being spiritual or symbolic rather than as something that has ever happened or likely could ever happen.
Okay. I can believe that to an extent, but they also at some point back in Moses' time told us that water sprang forth from a rock. So I mean, maybe they just don't have a good grasp on how water works.
Right. I mean, that could be because like we used to think that we had moods were like humors and they impacted what sicknesses we had.
Right.
And they used to like bleed us with leeches and like our scientific understanding of the body or anatomy or biology or chemistry was not all that great.
Right.
So,
but I am going to lend it a little bit of leeway here, because I remember when we were talking about that, they talked about the waters flowing out and like creating this whole new Garden of Eden type thing. So that could lend to spiritual things as opposed to physical water. So
here's the problem, though. Again, this is supposed to be understood to be spiritual or symbolic.
Yeah.
Yet later, God gave specific borders to mark the land and like real numbers.
Yeah.
And there will be real land that will be given to the real 12 tribes of Israel, suggesting that this was not, in fact, symbolic or spiritual land, but real land.
Okay.
So, it just kind of like argues with itself, right?
And that could be argued as well, because really the 12 tribes are a bit symbolic themselves, because many of the tribes are lost by this point in time.
Yes.
So they don't even exist. And this is another one of these fever dreams that Ezekiel's having about something. So there's only so much. I don't know how much stock we can put in any of this, honestly.
I'm going to put 0.
Right.
As for myself,
Yeah.
you can do a different percentage, but I'm going with 0.
Right.
So if the borders described by God were put upon a modern map, it would likely include all of Lebanon and a good portion of Syria, including Damascus. It would not include modern Jordan or Egypt, and would not extend southward to modern Eilat.
Don't know. Yeah.
Only once in Israel's history did the political borders of Israel extend as far north as Lebo Hamath. And that was under David and under Jeroboam II in 2 Kings.
Okay. All right. So what I'm hearing is that God was getting a little land grabby.
Could be. Or that the person that wrote this thought he had an understanding of the politics and geography at the time and where it was likely to head, but actually, in fact, didn't.
Sure.
So
yeah.
That would be my guess.
That could make some sense.
Generally speaking, it is an area somewhat larger than the land Israel occupied in the Old Testament, which you and I kind of figured when we were like
going
sussing
through
this out.
Well, yeah, because we started talking about it's gonna it does butt up against Egypt right now, but it seemed bigger the way that was being described.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And in fact it is, because moving on into Ezekiel 48.
Yeah.
The land was apportioned from north to south in bands or layers. Like, we were really confused about how all these pieces fit together and why so-and-so got land here and there, and like it didn't make any fucking sense. Right. When I say bands or layers, I'm talking about like, if you imagine a 7-layer dip, right?
Yeah.
You've got the beans on the bottom, then you've got the hamburger on top of that, and then you've got like whatever else you put in there, sour cream, whatever.
Don't
right?
you think you should ask Dan how he feels to be referred to as beans?
Well, he's actually at the top.
Oh.
He's the cheese.
Oh, he's the cheese.
Yeah. So, but we were thinking of just like different like circles and trying to picture how all this works.
Yeah.
In fact, it reads more, if you look up different maps.
Yeah.
It reads more as if there's a list.
Right.
Because remember we were like, why did they stop talking about these and all of a sudden just interrupt themselves to talk about the holy district?
Temple, right, yeah.
Because it falls in the middle of the list.
Oh.
So we've got like all of the northern things in a list, like banded across the land.
And then in the middle
of that,
the temple area.
Yes.
Got it.
And then it continues on under that with the rest of the list. And it's like if you took that list and then just sat it down on top of a map.
Got it.
So they are literally bands or layers of the dip.
Okay. Right, yeah.
So one notable difference is that there is no land occupied on the east side of the Jordan River, where the 3 Transjordan tribes, Reuben, Gad, and half of Manasseh, formerly had land.
So that's not part of this listing.
That's not part of this new area.
I wondered about that at the time because I remember in the times of Moses, I remember them being listed together because they stopped early and then they went on. So that's interesting.
Yeah. So they are put back together. They're all squished up
Right.
one on top of the other from north to south.
But this is a whole new configuration, somewhat.
Yes.
Compared to what God promised, quote unquote, promised them before. Mm-hmm. So that's interesting to me because God, I thought that what they had the first time was supposed to be the promised land.
Right.
And then it turns out that the promised land was a little bit more than what they described, but also a little bit less in some areas.
Yes.
The land markers didn't quite work out exactly the same way.
Yeah. It's very interesting. It's like Ezekiel was like, yeah, that didn't work. So what we're going to do is, and then he picked up all the pieces, shuffled them together, and then relayed them out.
Yeah.
And was like, here. But instead of like just laying them out haphazard all over the map, he just laid them one on top of the other from north to south.
Right.
And the way he laid them out is very important because we didn't understand that Judah and Benjamin, they are the ones that were thought to be the most loyal through it all to God's word.
Right.
Those are on the north, Judah, and on the south, Benjamin. Right between those two, that's where the middle section is of the city and the priestly.
Definitely the most important tribe.
Yes, they were rewarded because they each get to be closest to the Holy Land, the Holy District.
It's funny to me because I don't know if you recall this, but Benjamin at one point was actually destroyed almost completely, and they took slave women to repopulate that tribe.
Yes.
That's
correct.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And part of that was like, I think the fact that God helped destroy them, I think.
I honestly don't remember, but I wouldn't doubt it.
Right. I could be getting that one wrong, but I mean, it's funny that they now are such a prominent tribe in this whole Bible thing. So
right, it is very interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm going to name them again, but this time, now that we have a little bit better understanding of how this lays out. So just imagine the Mediterranean, okay? And that is the western border for all of these people, okay? And I'm just going to name a list and just imagine them as the list next to the Mediterranean. Okay?
Yeah.
Northmost, we have Dan. Underneath that is Asher. Underneath that is Naphtali. Underneath that is Joseph's two, because it didn't go to him, it went to his two sons, if you recall.
Right.
So Manasseh and Ephraim.
Okay.
And we'll come back to that in a minute. Reuben and then Judah. Okay.
Right.
Then we've got the Holy District, which I will talk about more in a minute.
Sure.
Okay. Underneath that is Benjamin and then Simon and then Issachar, Zebulon, and Gad.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk more about that center area, though.
Yeah.
The Holy District.
Right.
So I looked on maps to try to understand it better because I'm somewhat of a visual person. And I don't feel like the Bible explained it well enough that I could imagine this. So I'm going to try to explain it a little bit better than the Bible did.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So the Holy District is set up similarly to the rest of it, where it's a list, except for the bottom part of the list. Okay.
Yeah.
So at first we have the Levites. Okay.
Right.
They are the northernmost part of this
Holy
district.
Right.
And that puts them the furthest away from the temple.
Okay.
Even though they get included in that center section,
right,
they are the furthest away from the temple.
It was just kind of interesting because they're actually responsible for a lot of things going on at the temple. So
yes, so they get to be in there, they get to be included, but they are northmost and furthest away. Underneath them on this list comes the Zadokite priests and the sanctuary and the temple, because the Zadokite priests, of course, live and serve in the sanctuary, the temple.
Right.
Okay.
They're the special priests.
Yeah. So that's in the very center.
They get the special eating clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then just south of that comes the city.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the city lies between from west to east. Mm-hmm. Like the city isn't a whole band to itself.
Got it.
Okay. It's a little teeny tiny square that on each side of it is the city gardens.
Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then what I've just described to you is a whole square. Okay, so it goes the Levites, the Zadokite priests, the sanctuary with the temple, and then the city surrounded by the city gardens. Okay, so that is a square that I just described.
Got it.
Okay, and that is not the entire length of the rest of the bands. So what makes up the rest of that rectangle is prince lands on either side.
Oh.
Okay. That's what fills out. So the prince is in the middle too, but in the middle of the prince is the holy district.
I see.
Okay. Does that make better sense?
Yeah.
Like, I could not picture this for the fucking life of me.
I guess I didn't try that hard, honestly, because to me, it doesn't really
matter.
Right. Yeah. It's a dream that Ezekiel supposedly had and supposedly wrote down and supposedly is the word of God that has never been fulfilled.
Right.
And probably never will.
Well, especially with this really weird layout where they just wrote down a list and then stuck it on a map and said, there you go.
Yeah, well,
That's weird.
It's things like this that really take away from the believability of the Bible in general.
Robs it of any magic.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's kind of disappointing. Like,
Right, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's move on from that to the gates around the city.
Okay.
Okay. So the gates around the city, this comes from, you know what? Let me back up. I'm sorry. I should have read the next sentence here.
Okay.
In my notes. Okay. So the verses in the last section, sections 30 through 35, were apparently added from a different source because they focus the city gates on each of the four sides. And each gate is named after a certain tribe.
Right, I remember that.
So that shit was all added later by other people. They would have been followers of Ezekiel.
Yeah.
But not Ezekiel himself.
Okay.
Because he had all the layout of all the city and stuff, and like the gates were less important to him.
Sure.
So the new city is different from the Jerusalem in history. We pointed out already some of the differences.
Yeah.
Because the gates of the post-exilic Jerusalem in Nehemiah's time, like way back when, were carefully noted, yet none of them was named after the tribes.
Right.
Although in the pre-exilic period, there was a Benjamin gate and an Ephraim gate. But both of those were on the north side, not the east side of the city.
I feel like this inclusion in this section is more of a acknowledgement of, and like, here, we're giving you something. This is a thing. You're all going to be part of the holy district with your gate.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So.
And that actually is kind of important, too, from what I'm about to say.
Okay.
Okay. In the new city, Levi stands as one of the 12 tribes with its own gate. Like the Levites.
Yeah.
Like, they are in the holy district, right? The Levites themselves.
Yeah.
They get to be in the holy district, but they're the furthest away from the temple.
Right.
But they also get their own gate.
Wait a second, though. So
how would that make it 12?
Yeah.
Okay. Because remember I said we come back to that when I was talking about the two that were Joseph?
Yeah.
On the gates, they are one, listed as the Joseph gate.
Oh.
Okay. So that the Levites can have a gate.
So they've created essentially a 13th tribe.
Yes and no, because Manasseh and Ephraim were referred to as the Joseph tribe collectively on and off.
Right.
So it technically is Joseph's tribe, but it's his two sons each get one.
Okay.
So it depends on how they want to do it. And for the purposes of this, they were like, no, we really want the Levites to have their own gate.
I mean, to be fair to Joseph's sons, the entire, history of the Bible is based on one person.
Right.
So I don't know where they get off saying any of this. If you say that there was 12 tribes before, there should still be 12 tribes. But, whatever they got to do to appease these little priestly people.
Right.
Is fine, I guess. And at that, it's just in a dream. So who cares?
Right. And like going back to what you said, yeah, who fucking cares? But it matters in how they imagine placating various people.
Yeah. Yeah.
That part is what I found interesting.
Sure.
How they laid out, like, what they thought of the various people as far as, like, in this dream, you're shitty, so you get to live furthest away from the city.
Right.
Like, that's important.
Yeah.
The city less so, but how they imagined the people.
Yeah.
That's what I found really interesting.
Right.
And that's what I was trying to imagine when they were like, and this guy was living furthest away. I was like, what? I can't see it. So I had to see it in order to understand what the people, how they were being punished or rewarded.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So, we've got the Joseph Gate, and that's how they did there's still 12.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So the image of a city with 12 gates distributed equally among the 4 sides and named after the 12 tribes of Israel is really super fucking unusual. Okay.
Okay.
City walls were usually designed intentionally with only 1 gate.
Right. I mean, that makes a lot of sense
Because
I mean,
of
if you want to
protecting
keep
your city.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But this is going to be in a time of peace on earth or whatever.
Of course.
In an Eden.
Yeah.
So we'll all live in harmony.
There's no need to protect yourself.
Right.
We just need to enter.
So,
but if that's the case, why don't you just leave the no gates?
well,
I'm
yeah.
just saying.
Not
like,
everybody can fit inside. Some people live outside. They
Right.
come to visit this city.
But why do you need gates? Is what I'm saying.
That I could not tell you.
Okay.
But
I feel like it's just symbolic. It's just let's mention all the fucking tribes. Here's the people that are important to it. There they are.
that is a very good question. You actually did stump me. Like, I don't fucking know.
Right.
So, moving on, since I can't answer
Sure,
that.
sure.
And since, again, who cares?
Yeah.
The order of the gate naming seems to have its own logic, which I found this kind of interesting, too. The children of Leah all are on the north one. Judah, Levi, and Reuben.
Okay.
Because remember, Jacob had several. Jacob's name is Israel, and he had several different. He had like a wife and her sister wife or something like that, and then each of them had a concubine.
Right.
Because his wife couldn't have a baby or whatever.
Right.
So Leah was one of his wives, and so her children, Judah, Levi, and Reuben, are on the north side. On the south side. Is the other ones of Leah's children, Simon, Issachar, and Zebulon. Okay, because she had a shit ton.
Yeah.
Okay, the children of Rachel, remember, that was the one he really loved.
Yes.
Rachel was his true love.
Right.
His actual wifey wife. Her children, Joseph and Benjamin, and also with Dan, who was the oldest son of Bilhah, Rachel's handmaid.
Right.
Those guys were all on the east side.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she only had 2. And, he had one with this other fucking maid of hers.
Sure.
Where are you going to put that dude? So
Right.
stick him. Because it was Rachel's handmaid.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that guy gets to be with them.
Right.
The remaining children of his various concubines or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
Gad, Asher, and Naphtali were grouped together on the west. So
Okay.
the arrangement recalls the order of tribal camps around the tabernacle, 3 on each of the 4 sides, as referenced in the book of Numbers.
Got it.
So I just thought that whole thing was interesting. And there weren't really a lot of questions that we had. But that was the Q&A info that I could come up with that I thought might be interesting for this.
Got it. Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's good information. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that all you got for us today then?
That is all I have for the Q&A, yes.
All right. Well, we are going to be releasing the next episode, which will be the
wrap up
for Ezekiel. And we'll be doing that actually here probably tonight and shortly.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be releasing a couple back-to-back today. Mm-hmm. And then we'll be back tomorrow with...
Oh, we will be doing the You Are Always Wrong, or as I like to call it, You're Always Wrong.
That's right. And so am I sometimes. But,
Always wrong?
No, right. I'm right. I'm right. I'm correct.
Okay.
Sometimes. And then
Usually,
I'm also wrong.
Well,
but,
in the purposes
it's not my fault.
And for the purposes of the game, you're always wrong.
Right.
That's the point. But in everything else, you're usually right. So that's why I enjoy this game.
Sure. And then are we still endeavoring to get done a
book club? Yes. A sacrilegious
yes.
book club will happen this weekend.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So we're still kind of trying to get all this done. Sorry for the delay this week. We're kind of setting into a new schedule, and it's been a little bit hectic getting into it. So
because you started a new job recently.
Right. And so we apologize for the, not exactly on time stuff.
The forthing and the backing.
Yes. Hopefully we will find our rhythm and get back into this full-fledged here soon. Mm-hmm. And in the meantime, hang in there, and we'll be back shortly with the next episode.
Okie dokie.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.